Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit at Universal Studios Florida and Six Flags America in Maryland. An iconic ride and a park that are approaching their final days. Rip Ride Rockit will close August 18th, 2025, and Six Flags America on November 2nd, 2025. I have never visited Universal Studios Florida, and I only spent a chaotic 2 hours at Six Flags America. So as any rational person would do, I planned one big trip to say goodbye to these attractions this month, and to say goodbye to coasters before I start college in August. This trip will span several Florida and East Coast parks, and there are a handful of coasters to be excited for. Today, I want to talk about my most hyped ones. These are my top 15 most anticipated coasters of my Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit and Six Flags America farewell tour. Starting off with 3 honorable mentions: Steel Force at Dorney Park. This Morgan Hyper looks solid. I have had amazing experiences with both Mamba at Worlds of Fun and Superman El Ultimo Escape at Six Flags Mexico. But I know this one is tamed in comparison, so I am going in with lower expectations. Mind Blower at Fun Spot Kissimmee. This ride intrigues me, but its controversial reputation is something I'm keeping in mind. Quantum Accelerator at Six Flags New England also made the cut, but it did just get pushed back to 2026, so yeah. 15 is Talon at Dorney Park. This invert looks pretty solid. The first half is the usual invert stuff, but the second half focusing on speed and low to the ground elements makes me very excited. As long as it's better than Raptor, I'll be pretty happy. Number 14 is Revenge of the Mummy at Universal Studios Florida. I've been on the version in Hollywood, but everything points to the Florida version, putting that to shame. I am very excited for this ride, and I'm keeping myself mostly spoiler free. 13 is Icebreaker at SeaWorld Orlando. This premier swing launch coaster lacks inversions, but it looks to have amazing airtime, and the swing launch just seems like a blast. 12 is Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure at Universal's Islands of Adventure. This one is a mouthful, but the ride experience looks like some of Universal's best. I am not really into Harry Potter though, so it is pretty low on the list. 11 is Montu at Busch Gardens Tampa. This is one of the highest regarded coasters in Florida, apparently a top tier invert. Its length and intensity should be a highlight. Will it top Banshee in my rankings though? We'll have to wait and see. 10 is Pipeline the Surf Coaster at SeaWorld Orlando. I am a huge fan of B&M stand-ups. I know, that is insane. Riddler is amazing, Georgia Scorcher is one of B&M's best loopers, and Green Lantern was severely overhated, so this next gen stand-up should be great as well. I'm going in with different expectations, but I doubt I'll dislike it. 9 is Kumba at Busch Gardens Tampa. B&M's first large-scale coaster, and this looks like a beast. The only other sit-down looper I've done is Wildfire at Silver Dollar City, and if this is even half as good, I'm in for a real treat. Unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be open by the time I get to Busch Gardens, but fingers crossed that'll change. 8 is the Incredible Hulk at Universal's Islands of Adventure. Luckily, the other B&M sit-down looper will be open almost guaranteed. The launch lift hill looks awesome, and the layout looks really solid. I'm intrigued, and hopefully it lives up to the hype. 7 is Wild One at Six Flags America. The fact this coaster is not long for this world is tragic. Despite its age, it looks like an insane wooden coaster. Some of those drops in the back row must be unhinged. I missed the ride during my first visit in 2022, and I'm so excited and sad to finally ride it for the first and last time. 6 is Wicked Cyclone at Six Flags New England. Another coaster I missed during my first visit in 2022, and I've heard so much about this ride since then. And now that I have a taste of what RMC is capable of with small scale rides like Medusa Steel Coaster and Twisted Cyclone, I imagine this will be just as great. 5 is Mako at SeaWorld Orlando. I've heard praise for this ride since it opened, and I've been waiting for a B&M Hyper to overthrow Goliath at Six Flags Over Georgia as my favorite. Diamondback at Kings Island couldn't do that, so hopefully this one can. 4 is Batwing at Six Flags America. On my first visit to Six Flags America, Batwing was closed. Who could have possibly seen that coming? On my first visit to Carowinds, Nighthawk was also closed. After losing Nighthawk last year, Batwing scare earlier this summer, and only having a couple of months left, I am eager to get on the last Vekoma Flying Dutchman. 3 is Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit at Universal Studios Florida. The ride that started this whole trip. Rip Ride Rockit is so intriguing and so unique. I'm curious to see what I'll think of it, and I'm glad I'll experience it before it closes on August 18th. 2 is Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens, Tampa. This looks like such an amazing ride. When I rode Steel Vengeance last year, I loved its first half with its sense of speed and large, powerful elements, but its second half did not impress me much. Gwazi looks like more of the first half and none of the filler. This could easily be my top RMC, and I hope it lives up to the hype. 1 is Velocicoaster at Universal's Islands of Adventure. There was no other option for the top spot than this. Intamin and Universal seem to have crafted a masterpiece with this ride. There are few coasters I could see challenging my top 10, but Velocicoaster for sure will secure a high spot in my rankings. And that's the list. When this video is uploaded, I am already on this trip. Stay tuned in 2 weeks for the final results. If you enjoyed this video, I have one that you'll love popping up in the card right now. I'll see you there.